The Indian Reorganization Act 1934, from extermination to bureaucratic assimilation for centuries, U.S. policies toward American Indians were built on violence, displacement, and extermination. By the 20th century, the government shifted gears, replacing open aggression with a new method of control, bureaucratic assimilation. The Indian Reorganization Act IRA of 1934 was sold as a reform to restore tribal sovereignty and land, but beneath its promises lay a calculated strategy to limit indigenous identity and sovereignty over time. What was presented as progress was, in reality, a new form of colonial control. Stick with us to uncover the hidden agenda of the IRA and how its legacy still affects indigenous nations today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations of suppressed history. The IRA marked a shift from outright extermination to assimilation through paperwork and policy. It introduced blood quantum laws, a colonial tool to quantify indigenous identity as a fraction, ensuring fewer people would qualify as native over generations. It also restructured tribal governments, forcing indigenous nations to adopt Western-style constitutions that replaced traditional leadership systems. While it ended the devastating allotment policies of the Dawes Act, it didn't return stolen land. Instead, it imposed federal oversight over tribal decisions, keeping indigenous nations under U.S. control. The IRA wasn't about helping, it was about erasing. Here's the truth. The Indian Reorganization Act wasn't just reform, it was a ticking time bomb. By tying identity to blood quantum, the government launched a long-term plan to phase out indigenous populations on paper. Over time, fewer people would meet the arbitrary native enough threshold, erasing tribes, breaking treaties, and extinguishing federal obligations. Meanwhile, the forced adoption of Western-style governance systems weakened traditional leadership and made tribes dependent on federal approval for vital decisions. The IRA didn't restore sovereignty, it redefined it to fit colonial interests. The consequences of the IRA are still felt today. Blood quantum laws continue to divide, exclude, and erase indigenous people. Tribal governments are often still modeled after IRA-imposed constitutions, making it difficult to return to traditional systems. Yet, resistance is growing. Many tribes are rejecting colonial identity standards, opting for kinship-based membership instead. Activists are exposing the IRA's hidden agenda and fighting for the restoration of land, culture, and self-governance. The resilience of indigenous peoples is rewriting the narrative. The Indian Reorganization Act was a calculated attempt to control and assimilate indigenous nations under the guise of reform. But indigenous identity is not a fraction, sovereignty is not negotiable, and the fight for true autonomy continues. If you're ready to challenge colonial narratives and stand with indigenous communities reclaiming their birthright, like this video, share it and subscribe to our channel. Together, we can dismantle the systems that sought to erase indigenous existence and amplify the voices that refuse to be silenced. The future is about reclaiming, resisting, and restoring. Join us.